Welcome back to the Disturbing Videos Iceberg. This is part 2 and we will be starting below the surface with tier 3. Let's go. In this first entry of tier 3, we have what looks like a person in a room acting strange. The day counter in the bottom left corner keeps updating, insinuating that whoever this person is being monitored daily. Their movements and mannerisms change and get weirder as the days tick by, and on the 29th of June 1983, the person is laying on the bed, shaking and moving around. On the ground, we see something hop out of frame. What on earth is that? A frog? What a creepy video. Is this real? What even is the Russian sleep experiment? Well, to give a short summary, it's not real. It's a creepypasta. But according to the creepypasta, 5 test subjects were being tested on by Soviet-era scientists. The subjects were forced to stay awake without any sleep whatsoever. This supposedly took place back in 1947, and the scientists would expose these 5 subjects to a gas which prevented them from sleeping. The tests showed that without sleep, the subjects would become feral, violent beasts who eventually got addicted to the gas they were inhaling. How long were these subjects without sleep? 15 days. The first 5 days, everything was fine. The subjects didn't complain, and they were promised they could leave once a 30-day test period was completed. After the first 5 days, they started getting paranoid, and they were discussing how they got into the situation, and they even tried to turn on each other, trying to win points over each other with the scientists. After 9 days, the first subject started screaming and running around in the cell. He eventually lost his voice due to the screaming. The second captive screamed as well and lost his voice too. Books inside the chamber were taken by some of the subjects, and they were torn apart and pasted with their excrement onto the glass portholes. On the 14th, over the intercom, the scientists told the subjects to stand back and lay on the ground. They want to enter to see if the microphones were still working, since no noise or sound was coming from the chamber for days. If they complied, one random person would be let free. Someone from inside the chamber responded over the microphone that, quote, "We no longer want to be freed." It was decided that on the 15th day, they will open the chamber and they flushed out the sleep-preventing gas and pumped in fresh air. 3 of the subjects started pleading that the gas be turned on again, and soldiers were sent in, and what they saw was a horror fest. 4 of the 5 test subjects were still alive, and the food rations that were given to them past day 5 weren't touched or eaten. The 5th test subject wasn't alive anymore, and chunks of his body were stuffed into the drain hole in the center of the room. The 4 surviving subjects were missing tissue off of their bodies as well, and it was determined that these wounds were caused by themselves by using their own hands and fingers. Their organs below the ribcage of the 4 subjects were no longer there, and they were placed along the floor. These subjects were eating their own flesh. The subjects were eventually removed, but not without a fight. One of the officers' throats was ripped out, and another had their private parts ripped off. 5 other officers ended their own lives due to this whole extraction operation. One of the 4 subjects bled profusely due to his spleen being ruptured. They did try and sedate him with more than 10 times the dose of morphine, but this was futile, and he passed. The 3 subjects that survived were moved to a medical facility, and 2 of them continuously begged for more gas. The 3rd subject was taken to undergo surgery to have his organs put back into his body, but the moment they gave him enough anesthetic to knock him out, more than a normal person should take, his heart stopped. The 2nd subject underwent surgery to have his abdominal organs replaced, without any anesthetic gas. After it was done, it looked like the patient wanted to say something. So the doctor got a pen and pad, and here the patient wrote, "Keep cutting." The other 2 subjects were given the same surgery, and when they were asked why they hurt themselves this bad and wanted the gas so badly, one subject replied, "We must remain awake." The subjects were placed back into the chamber on their beds with restraints on. EEG monitors were connected to the subjects, and one of them fell into a deep sleep and passed. 3 researchers were locked inside with the 2 remaining subjects, but one of the researchers had a gun on him and shot the guy in control who ordered them to be locked inside with the subjects, and he shot one of the subjects. The last remaining subject had the gun pointed at him, and the researchers shouted at him, "I won't be locked in here with these things, not with you. What are you? I must know." The subject smiled at him and said, "Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread." The researcher pointed the gun at the subject's heart and fired, with the last words of him being, "So nearly free." You have most likely seen this image float around the internet and heard how it's linked to the experiment. But in fact, it's a photograph of a Halloween prop named Spasm, created in 2005 by Morbid Enterprises. Now, when it comes to this clip we saw, what makes this obviously not footage of the Russian sleep experiment is the fact that this supposed experiment took place back in 1947. Yet the date in the bottom left corner says 83 at the end, insinuating 1983, which is exactly 56 years apart. And then there is also the fact that there were supposedly 5 subjects in one chamber, yet this chamber looks small and we never see anyone else appear at all. So where was this clip taken from? Is it from a movie? An obscure film nobody knows about? As of now, we don't know. I've tried looking for more info on this and I came up empty-handed. My best guess is that this is some sort of art project or very obscure film with one of its scenes taken and linked to the experiment story to try and give it some credibility. This is quite a popular video and creepypasta. Here we have a black and white video of Mickey Mouse walking down the street, looking sad. It loops like this for a while, until we hear a wail or cry of some kind, and Mickey's face turns into a smile, and then a white teeth showing smile. Screaming and crying can be heard throughout the rest of the video now, and Mickey's eyes change. The streets he walks on and the buildings around him start to break down, and it appears to look like there was some kind of disaster or something that happened, the way the buildings are destroyed and the streets look like a mess. Mickey's face is all bloody now, and he just continues to walk, eventually even speeding up his walk until he falls over and passes. A depiction of a demon can be seen right after he passes. This isn't just any demon, it's a Chernabog, a demon featured in the Night on Bald Mountain, Ave Marie segment in Disney's 1940 animated feature film Fantasia. This appearance insinuates that he has come to take Mickey's soul to hell. Right before he passes though, it looks like he dropped something. What was that? Perhaps an injection with poison to end his own life? According to the creepypasta on this clip you saw is a lost Mickey Mouse episode, one that was never aired. Of course, this is not real and this is all fiction, but it's still creepy and disturbing. In this video, we have what looks like a mannequin or stick figure, moving their arms around in a corner of a dark room. Out of nowhere, a white face appears on the screen, accompanied by a series of numbers, and then words that are in a different language. It then cuts back to the figure, and in the last frame of the video, we see a hole in the ground and the video ends there. The text that was seen on the screen is supposedly Russian, and it roughly translates to scream or screech. Someone on Reddit who speaks Russian said this wasn't Russian, and it's probably Kazakh, but Google Translate says it's Kyrgyz. If it is Kyrgyz, then the first text read as "or in the sky" in English, and the second is scream. This video was uploaded to YouTube by a channel called Awake, but it was either hacked or got removed. The only way to find this video now is through re-uploads by others. This video was part of an ARG of some kind before the channel disappeared, and unfortunately we might never know what this ARG was going to be like. Hopefully the creator will return one day and continue the project. Well, actually, they did return. I found a tip on a Reddit post talking about this video on his channel, that the channel is back. As of writing this, the channel can be found on YouTube and it's called Sleepy Maxine. She says she is the one who created the first Awake channel, and on this new channel you can find all the uploads from the first channel before it disappeared or got deleted. Here on her channel we can see that this was indeed an ARG that she created. Here we have what seems to be a group of friends in an elevator. The video then shows us a random person, probably in the same lift, talking to the cameraman, and we are shown what looks to be someone creeping on the people in the lift by hiding on a set of stairs. This video was uploaded to 2 channels that were named very similarly, Found and Escape and Found on the Tape. There are other clips named Clip 095 and Clip 084, and this is all an ARG. When I watched the 084 clip, I noticed that it looked like the cameraman was walking through hallways or tunnels. We are shown a map of some kind called Earth Tunnel Complex with multiple entrances. Then after this clip is the 094 one from this Iceberg entry, and it shows a group of people in an elevator and a person with a weird looking face that was watching them. Clip 095 shows us what seems to be the outside world, but then we see a woman walking creepily up to the camera, missing her arms. Perhaps what this is trying to convey is that a group of people got stuck inside the earth in some kind of tunnel system underneath the ground, and there's a giant open space looking like it's the surface, but it's not, and inside this space are weird deformed looking people. That sounds kind of like the backrooms. It sounds like a very cool and interesting ARG idea. In this next entry, we see a little house in the forest. We are introduced to a doll representing a person. She reaches a hallway in the house and looks down it for a while before moving down it to the door at the end. It's the bedroom. She decides to get into bed as it is dark out and it's probably late. While looking out the window, she sees something in the forest and she gets scared. The thing is gone when she looks again, but then out of nowhere, the thing that was in the forest appeared right beside the house and it walked past the window. This thing eventually makes its way into the house and we are jump scared by its face. But wait, it looks exactly like the girl. The only difference is the face. This video was posted to YouTube 17 years ago by a channel called JRZ on the 3rd of November 2006. The creator is a young man from Sussex, England. This type of animation is called stop motion animation, and the creator made this during college. The inspiration for this video was from the creator's brother who had a nightmare similar to this, and he wanted to retell it by using visuals. He says he might make a follow-up video to complete the story in the future, but it's been 17 years since the first video, so I don't know if he will ever make a follow-up. I like this little video. Very creepy. Okay, now this one is creepy. So according to the intro, the Russian government gathered a team of geologists to investigate tectonic plates in Siberia back in 1999. They drilled 4.4 kilometers into the Earth's crust when they found something horrifying. The drill reached a cavern of sorts, and the heat inside of this cavern was astoundingly high. They dropped the microphone down into the hole to pick up the tectonic plate sounds, but instead captured sounds of people screaming in pain. A newspaper company covered the story, but the government took all photos and recordings and locked it away. Luckily, a few recordings weren't taken, so in 2009, a recording was sent to an American radio station. What the radio presenter played was apparently the screams of people burning in hell. This is extremely creepy and disturbing, I gotta say. Is this real? Well, no, it's not. These sounds were not recorded from hell. These screams are actually from a 1972 film called Barren Blood. This story is actually based off of something that actually happened, minus the screaming in hell part. The Soviet Union bored a hole 12 kilometers deep into the earth on the Kola Peninsula, which shares the borders of Norway and Finland. They found geological anomalies, but no paranormal activity or sounds from hell. In this next entry, we have a person doing something strange with their face, but even his quote-unquote face looks often disturbing. What on earth is this? We see him slit a line for him to breathe. This is just freaky and strange. Who is this guy? What is he doing? Well, the man in this video's name is Olivier de Sagazan, a French painter and sculptor. This thing he is doing in this video is actually called Transfiguration, and it's an art performance he did back in 1998 by using clay. We see him gradually disfigure himself from man to some kind of beast, all in a search to find himself, to find out who he truly is.
Hi, Walter. I was at the mall today, and guess what happened? I met the most wonderful girl. We went shopping at JCPenney's, and she tried on a lot of clothes. And she ended up buying a whole lot of them, you know what I mean? And then we decided to go and take a look at some of the jewelry at K Jewelers, and she picked out this most awesome necklace, the most amazing necklace I've ever seen. And I know she wanted me to buy it for her because she kept on looking at me and kept on giving me that look. You know the look. And then we got kind of tired of the mall, and I brought her back to my place. And I know she hates cameras, Walter, but I'm going to show you her anyways. You ready?
My goodness, yes, this one. Here we have a guy talking into a camera to someone called Walter. He says he went to the mall and met a lady there. He says they went and did a lot of shopping, how she bought beautiful looking things. They went to his place and she apparently doesn't like cameras, but he wants to show Walter what she looks like anyways. We are taken to what seems to be a basement, and there, behind the door on the ground, is a woman. She screams and cries, and the man barges in and closes the door behind him. And we can just imagine what he is going to do. My goodness, that's very disturbing. Okay, so I think this guy and girl didn't meet and interact the way he said they did. When they were quote-unquote shopping together, it was her shopping and him creeping on her and following her around the mall. When she gave him the quote-unquote look, it was her realizing he was watching her and she was freaked out or spooked. When they went to his place, what he actually meant to say was that he took her against her will and abducted her. The man in the video's name is Patrick, and the big question is this real? On August 11th, 2009, a 15-year-old girl named Kayla Berg went missing after her boyfriend Kevin dropped her off at his house. When people saw this video 2 months after her disappearance, they thought this girl in the video was Kayla. People took this video, did an investigation, and it was determined that this video had nothing to do with Kayla's case. This video turned out to be fake, and the people in it were actors Matten and Lucy Cavo from a comedy YouTube channel called 2150 Studios. They apologized for the confusion this caused, and they subsequently deleted their channel.
Let me stick the camera through the hole first, might be a body in there. What a chance we don't see.
East what, subway? East wing?
Can you get in? Can you get in? Get in. Jesus, look at that, mate. It's exactly like the one over there, look.
Misty. It's right underneath, isn't it? Everything.
In this next video, we have what seems to be 2 friends exploring a location said to be haunted. They caught an EVP of someone or something saying, "I have the body of a pig." If you don't know what an EVP is, an EVP is short for Electronic Voice Phenomenon, and it's heard on devices used by paranormal investigators where they capture and record sounds the human ear can't hear of supposed spirits. They look down a little tunnel and they captured a picture of something or someone laying inside of a little crawl space. Was this a ghost? And was this ghost saying this phrase? Perhaps. Now, I found something else named the exact same as this entry, and it was an Instagram post of a photo. The photo depicted what looked to be something resembling that of a pig, with the head and everything. The photo's caption read, "I have the body of a pig, wink wink wink." This was created by a Canadian artist named Trevor Henderson. So, this entry could be referring to both of these things. this image was actually inspired by the video of this entry. With this next entry, we are right out the gate, jump scared by a doll. We hear a little girl crying, but later turns into what sounds like laughter. We see a doll acting as a human, or better yet, a chef, saying how she likes to cook and likes food. The imagery all throughout this video is extremely creepy and unsettling. You remember Nana 825763? We had an entry towards the top, and here we are with another video of theirs. This one was uploaded to YouTube on the 1st of October 2011. One thing I have noticed is that this doll shows up throughout a lot of the videos on the channel in the beginning stages, and it's kinda like it was the channel mascot, or the creator was trying to portray the doll as a living being and the owner. Someone in the comments section of the video said that this kind of looks like a Shinto shrine, a structure built to house spirits of the Shinto religion. These types of dolls are sometimes found at these types of shrines. Perhaps this is some sort of ritual being done. The fact that it looks like a shrine and these types of dolls are linked to it, and then there's the talking of words such as cutting, neck, red, and we literally see what looks like blood on the doll, shouts ritual to me. You know, the neat thing about icebergs is I don't have to pronounce these awful words. I can just put them on the screen and you can read them. Anyways, we are starting off with tier 4 of the iceberg with a very disturbing video. I had to censor a bit of it due to the things shown look so real and I don't want to show anything actually bad. We see someone sitting on a chair, flailing around with what seems to be something around their mouth. They are clearly bleeding from the mouth and it's been dripping down their clothing. We get to a scene where it looks like people are kicking or poking at the bodies of deceased individuals. This one I had to censor due to the fact that you can literally see it's people laying there and they are wearing no clothing. We are brought back to the person with the thing around their mouth, and this time you can see they have something in their hand. A razor blade of some kind. They end up cutting away their clothing and we can only imagine what they're gonna do next. I'm wondering, is this person in the chair one of the people who were kicking and poking at deceased people? Or were they perhaps one of them that were being poked and they survived? Perhaps. Maybe due to the trauma they endured that day, they are self-harming. This video was first posted to YouTube by a channel called Principe Subliminal on the 25th of May 2008. The clip itself is from a black and white movie called Begotten that was published back in 1989. The movie is supposedly about God ending himself, which is the person we saw with the blade in hand and the blood all over them, and giving birth to Mother Nature, who then gives birth to a God-man who has his life taken by people, which is probably that scene I was talking about where it looked like people were kicking and poking at individuals laying lifeless. The full movie used to be available to watch here on YouTube about 4 years ago, but it was removed due to terms of service violations.
Cars fast with me fast food life where I puked on fans and cheated on the wife and my head kept spinning round and round and then it all came crashing. Well, then it happened and I really don't know how. was a scandal. I lost my job. Scandal. I lost my kids. Scandal. The wife threw me out. Scandal. My sausages. And I was forced to walk the streets and sell my beefcake body for just make ends meet. I said, oh, well, what is next? I got maggots and worms in my perm. Was forced to beg. I got so hungry one night I had to eat my own leg. Here comes Pete, he's a meat puppet, a meat puppet, a puppet of meat. Here comes Pete, he's a meat puppet, a meat puppet, a lady sweet. Now I ramble around, going town to town, singing songs on my guitar, nothing gets me down. So if you see a friend Pete, make sure you say hi as I do up my set and find that meaning of life. So long now.
My goodness. Okay, so with this next one, we have a puppet. No, a meat puppet named Pete. He tells us the story of how he came to be, how he got famous, and how he lost it all. Very strange video, but I gotta say, the song itself is pretty catchy actually. Now, from what the video tells us, he was created out of literal bits and scraps of meat. When he drank milk from his mother, who didn't give birth to him by the way, he had life. I found this video as well, of Pete in an interview, where he gives the show host some of his meat to eat.
Just something. Oh, there he is. How are you?
Hi there, how you doing, sir?
Can I call you Chuck?
Oh, well, you can call me whatever you'd like. I just thank you so much for having me on.
Oh my God, is that a boner? There's a lot of talk about your having gone from rags to riches back to rags. What happened to you?
Well, it's a very sad story, but...
Really?
Well, it's got a good ending. You see, it actually started with my mama like it starts with so many southern boys. My mama was a butcher. She was a Birmingham woman, you know, very polite, very pretty.
Yeah.
But, you know, she never did find nobody worth her salt, you see. So, out of loneliness, she just took a cleaver and started whacking away at the meat, you know?
She did?
Yeah.
Really?
She
So your
made
mother
me-
beat her meat, did she?
You know what my boss told me once?
What?
He said that I was from the sirloins of my mother.
Oh my God.
I don't think that's
I
very
think
funny.
that's a terrible joke.
yeah.
Would you... Oh my God, Pete.
Yeah?
What's this?
What is that?
It looks like Pete jerky.
Now that's something I just wanted to bring up here and show you. See,
Are
this
you
is-
shilling a new product?
Well, I am shilling a new product.
What
It's
are you
called-
trying to sell?
This is from me, literally from me. This is
Oh,
Pete
really?
Jerky.
What do you mean? This is from you?
It is literally from my body.
Would this account for its product?
See, look down there at that leg.
Oh,
Here,
my
look at that.
goodness.
Take a piece of my meat and stick it in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Chew it. Chew it.
It's out of this world.
Keep your mouth closed. That's what a polite Southern boy do. All right,
Oh,
now
it's
tell me
tremendous.
something. Tell me, what do you think?
Oh my God.
You like?
I haven't had anything like this in years. God,
Soon
it's
you're
good.
gonna be like me. Soon you're gonna be wearing those Italian suits and strutting around all cityfied. That's what that's gonna make you do.
You think so?
It's gonna make you gallivant around and raise a ruckus.
It's so good that I hate to put it down, but we've got to because we need to talk to our sponsor.
Go talk to. Maybe your sponsor would like some jerky.
Maybe he would.
Maybe your sponsor is jerky. All right. Now let's fake talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk, yeah.
All right.
That was good.
Yeah. Are you talking to me or the puppet?
The creator of this video and many others like it is called Diesel. And Diesel is a designer jean clothing company. What does Pete and these videos have to do with that? Well, from what little info I could gather, this film was done by Far Advertising Agency for Diesel in Sweden back in November 2008. From the looks of it, Diesel did this ad campaign to drive attention to their clothing. Here we have another entry from the channel Runha 825763. We see a depiction of two girls playing and moving around on a still background with some animals and other elements moving about. The video would randomly become red and creepy for a few seconds with distorted music. These two characters are trying to mind their own business, but whenever the scene would change, a hand or something can be seen on the border of the screen. It even ended up grabbing one of the characters while she was flailing around, trying to escape. As the video progresses, this disturbance taints the area and marks of it are left behind. One of the characters gets grabbed and she's never seen again. The whole screen starts to get smashed and tainted by the outside force, with the last character crying. She eventually gets her life taken as well, after everything else had theirs taken. What a disturbing video. This video was uploaded to YouTube back in September 21st, 2011. There must be some kind of message the creator is trying to convey to us. Perhaps to not let outside forces taint and hurt you. If you do, then you will become just like them, turning you into something you don't want to be. From the info I could find on this thing that came to disrupt the fun these two characters were having is called The Stranger, and he appears in this video you just saw and in another called At Home for the First Time. It's a shadow humanoid who hurt and ended the lives of two characters in another video called Chi-chan and Pico-chan. The stranger tricks a character called Chi-chan and ends her life after doing bad things to her. Chi-chan eventually turns into username 666, which we heard of earlier in the Iceberg, due to her life being ended, and she would hurt others by attacking them. From what I understand, the first character who had her life taken by the shadow in the video was Chi-chan. The second character was Pico-chan, someone the shadow previously ended her life of as well, after doing horrible things to her too. In its prime, this channel consisted of some very strange videos. Videos that led the viewers to believe the channel was run by a serial killer. Most, if not all, of these videos contained clues and codes of some sort. Even the titles of the videos on this channel can be seen as codes, and I will attempt to decipher some of them soon. As of now, the channel is kind of dead. There was a purge of content on the Meat Sleep channel around the year of 2015. The channel garnered a lot of attention from YouTube reaction channels and such, and this caused them to be reported to a vigilante group. Due to continued attempts of harassment and doxing, Meat Sleep, sometimes known as just Meat, deleted all videos from the channel and made a video titled No More. In this final video, we finally get answers. It was a project created by multiple people across multiple countries, and we, the viewers, were the directors all along, our speculations giving them ideas for the next video they would make. And their videos were very well done in my opinion. They had recurring themes of warped audio, cryptic and hidden messages, and just downright bizarre imagery that sometimes was hard to even make out what the heck it was. And this channel deleted videos at an alarming rate, another detail that was spooky on its own, because you imagine they were releasing evidence and clues only to tease people and then quickly delete it to cover their tracks. Of course, now we know it's not real, but back then it felt real to a lot of people. We also get confirmation in the No More video that the Meat Sleep channel is connected to another channel, Sewn Skin, an anagram for new skin. Sadly, the person behind Sewn Skin and Meat Sleep seems to have passed away in 2021, but their legacy will live on. In my opinion, Meat Sleep is one of the best ARG channels to exist. It's what ARGs are supposed to be, you know? So believable that it causes you to do research, It keeps you entertained but also worried. So, you remember I said I'd attempt to decode some things? I'm going to do that now. Please bear in mind that this is just what I came up with while doing research, and I thought I'd include it in this Iceberg video. I ain't claiming to be some kind of professional in decipherment. So here's a video where you can clearly see in the title the word ingrate between all those other symbols. My guess is it's made to look like the word ingrate is behind bars, symbolizing an ungrateful person behind bars, maybe their next victim. This video, circle, could be referring to the circle of life. Everyone passes, it's inevitable. But we also see in this video the camera view spinning around in a circle, as well as the lady in the video spinning around to check behind her. So it could just mean that you spin around to check and see what's behind you or around you. Make sure no one is behind you. In this next video, Google Translate detected Welsh for the second half of the title. So this means anyone in Welsh, apparently. As for the first half, Google Translate wasn't very useful. So I'm left to guess. Maybe this could be referring to south, north, west, east, but it isn't usually said in that order. This video is called Forever Home. Usually when someone refers to a forever home, it's when they are talking about adopting a pet and making sure said pet is going to stay with them forever and be happy and safe. I doubt that's what Meat Sleep's victims are going to feel when he quote-unquote adopts them. In this video, we clearly hear someone screaming in the background as the camera focuses down a long staircase. So, is it suggesting the person screaming is going to be their new pet? And the one videoing will take this pet to their new forever home? You decide. This video shows a messy table countertop. There looks to be glass jars and meat on the table. Then we go down a hallway and the number 5 is clearly shown on screen. Perhaps that is human meat on that table? And the number of people who had their lives taken so far is 5. I see a lot of Old Norse and Runic in this title, so let me attempt to decipher the symbols and put it all together to see if it makes any sense. So let's do it in order. This means sun. This means hail. This is a math symbol. It expresses the existence of a variable. It means there exists. Remember the first rune I mentioned, the one that looks like a backwards 3? Well, this rune is supposedly a different way to write that other rune. This also means sun. And again with this rune, it also means sun. This rune is supposed to represent the sound or value of the letter Y, or sometimes even the letter W and V. This rune means plaster. There isn't much information about this rune, but it supposedly refers to a bandage. Another symbol used in mathematics. It means identical to or equivalent to. And another math symbol. We had this before but without the line going through it. So this one is the opposite of the other symbol. This one means there does not exist. This rune means joy. This is the opposite of the equal symbol. It means not equal or not equal to. And lastly, we have this rune. This means journey. So let's put it all together, shall we? Sun and hail, there exists. Sun, sun again. The letter Y, bandage, equivalent to, there does not exist. Joy, not equal to. And finally, journey. From all this, I can only speculate that perhaps someone is like the sun in someone's life or the light of their life, but now that light has been snuffed out. Their life has been ended and now there is no joy or light in their life. Or it could mean that when the sun goes down, that's when the joy begins for the killer. Or it could just be a random jumble of runes and symbols. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.
With this next entry, we have a dog looking at the camera and down at a windmill toy. It goes on like this for a few seconds until his head snaps back, his mouth opens up and a creature comes out. We see the creature in the last few seconds of the video before it ends. This video was uploaded to YouTube by a channel called Dan Kabir back in 2019. The music used in the video comes from a video game called either Conker or Sonker's Bad Fur Day. The dog being used in this video is actually an image of a meme that was distorted and made to look uncanny. The dog's name is Walter and he became a meme back in 2018. In this first entry of Tier 5, we have two women who went shopping for perfume, with a creepy looking man following them around. One of the ladies eventually realizes that a man is following them, and she alerts her friend and they book it out of there. He ends up following them to a residence of one of the ladies, and he tries wearing different masks until he finds one that looks like a normal man, and he rings the doorbell. He gets into the house and he starts attacking the lady. He says there has been 6 others, meaning 6 other women whose lives he has taken. Perhaps they end up eating him and disposing of his bones by throwing it away. This video was uploaded to YouTube by a channel called Cecilia Condit on the 21st of July 2018. This is a musical horror story about 2 women who are stalked in a mall by a cannibal man named Arthur. He follows them home, wanting to eat them, but they turn into the cannibals and they eat him. One of the female actors in this is Karen Skladany, who wrote Animal Cannibal for this short film. The uploader of this video is the creator of it as well, and she even has her own website where you can find more works of her and get to know her life story more. She's actually a film professor at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, where she has been teaching for 30 years. This film was creepy and also strange at the same time. With her works, she tried to put a spin on women mythology in films, exploring the dark side of female subjectivity since 1981, when she first started with filmmaking. In this next entry, we are greeted by a hello, with a distortion and screaming that follows of a man named William Afton, burning and screaming in pain. On July 11th, 2020, a YouTube channel called Squimpus McGrimpus uploaded a video titled Finale to their channel. This was the last video to complete their fan-made Five Nights at Freddy's VHS analog horror series. In this finale video, there's a jump scare of the main antagonist from the game series, William Afton, where he is burning in hell. This jump scare burning part was cut out and uploaded separately to YouTube. This William Afton character is an edited version of a photograph of the former Republican member of the US House of Representatives, Thomas Dale DeLay, and it's his image being used in the Burning in Hell video. In this next video, we have a guy in a straitjacket, covered in shaving cream, and an 8 pool ball in his mouth. We can see this guy is very clearly in distress just by looking at his eyes. What on earth is this channel called Memory Hole? Well, this whole channel posts weird stuff. They haven't posted videos in years until a few months ago, with a video titled This Blows. The name Memory Hole is derived from George Orwell's book called 1984, which centers around the consequences of mass surveillance and control over the people of society. This shaving cream video, along with every other video on the channel, is most likely an art project.
Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I want to thank my girlfriend for helping me research some of the topics, as she found info I couldn't. If you liked what you saw, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe to soothe that fascination.